All right, welcome back to Kenner's Jurassic World. We're continuing to work on the Lost World variants. This is the deluxe Pachycephalosaurus based on, of course, the film design, using this 1997 film modded skin. So let's get that going. We also still have another geneticist. We could work on more variants like Stegosaurus, or we could get our Ultimasaurus, who I finished between episodes while we were getting pounded by a storm. And pounded, we did indeed get, because it was not a great storm. And your genes are pretty bad, but whatever. 7 and 2. Leaving us with 7 for a expedition for, I guess, Compy, because nothing else is left, right? Boom. Okay. We did have some couple of injuries which are still being dealt with, including a Pteranodon who attacked defense, because I forgot to sedate those guys, because of course they're assholes. We're literally still have parasaurs being delivered, which is part of the backlog coming out of the storm. And the raptors also did happen to escape, so that was also a whole thing. Which would not have been that big of a problem, because it's only 4 raptors, and only like 2 escaped, but we were backlogged, and they happened to get sedated right where the breaches in the fence were, so the fences weren't getting repaired for the longest time. So we're good to go now. Like, it's fine. Didn't bother including that in the episode, because, like, who cares? It's not like a full-on chaos effect moment of, like, you know, death spiral. Let's get the Euoplos first. Ooh, social humble defensive. Very nice. So the Euoplocephalus was never a released figure. A prototype for it exists, I believe. And we've seen it with like its intended paint job, which was very garish. I think actually, like, there was basically 2 prototypes. I think it was supposed to be, I'm going off memory here, but I think it was supposed to be a Lost World figure, but then it was scrapped. And then it was brought back for the Chaos Effect hybrid toy line as Euoplocephalus, but given like a wacky, crazy color scheme of like bright red and black and yellow. Kind of in the same way, this Alpharaptor toy was made. This is also from Chaos Effect. So this was just a raptor, but with a wacky paint job. And so that was kind of the thing they were doing right near the end of the toy line altogether, before it, you know, stopped being produced and switched over to being Hasbro. And Kenner ceased to exist as any independent entity. They were already a Hasbro subsidiary, I believe, at that point, so it's not like they were independent in the first place, but yeah. And Hasbro, them producing stuff in-house instead of through Kenner, boy, that was some hot garbage. They produced some just absolute trash. The Jurassic World toy line is like the low point of franchise merchandise. I think rather than process those, I'm going to just keep digging up copies. Maybe we will save some money, because why not? Even though I have $86 million. I'm just going full tech bro and just being like, I need all the money though. I don't have enough. My yachts need yachts. So yeah, four only for film canon Pachycephalosaurus. That'll give us 20, which is excessive. And there is our Euoplocephalus, my favorite Ankylosaurus, who better get into JWE2, or I'm going to have to write a stern letter to one Mr. John Frontier. But, yeah, you know, you can't do too much for, like, adding crazy colors to these guys, but you can get a little red stripe on the side to give it that black and red vibe. So that is what I went with. Honestly, looks nothing like the toy, but that's fine, because he's my bro. I love him. He's great. And the Pachycephalosaurus are being delivered, so we're going to go ahead and do the copies on you, and then I would like to do a round of Stegosaurus next, right? Yes. So for the Stegos, these are the Lost World proper Stegos, plus a red one. And the reason there's a red one is, for whatever reason, the Stegosaurus hatchling that comes with the Sarah Harding figure is red, reddish brown, which is certainly a choice. I believe we have an alpha we can reset. Maybe we should double check that, but let's get this going first. So I want maybe just like one red one or something. I don't know. We'll see. Because we already have 6 stegos. I don't know if we really need like, what was it, 8 more or something. Okay, humble, intall, social for the alpha. Sure. That's fine. And then, yeah, the film Pachycephalosaurus, of course, that's the mod skin. We've seen this before. This is a kind of a staple mod because we don't get a proper one in game unless we use a mod. So here it is again for like the 6th time. All right, stegos. Aggressive, no. Intall, unfit is fine. Skittish, intall. So 97. A, 97A, and then Death Valley Rana's on 4 of them. Why would you do this to me? We're going to take 3. Because I do specifically only want 1 red one. And then we're going to do 1 more clutch of specifically 97B, I think. Right? These are 97As, I think we had here. I can't tell now. Maybe I'll wait. Alright, we're processing the last compy fossil. We just did a full batch that we had 1 straggler. I don't think it's worth waiting because it's, we don't have anything else research to dig up right now. And we need, like, everybody on deck, essentially, to do Spinosaurus and Allosaurus. So, the stegos are just about done. So that we can get those. And then do compies and the rest of the stegos. And then we need the Rexes, too, which are also big ticket because we don't have the alpha proper done yet. Should look for our actual herd. Okay, they're kind of here. These guys are, well, they have no comfort info because, of course, they don't. Because whatever guy's supposed to be doing his job ain't doing it. Get in there, somebody. Somebody tell me what the numbers are. What the numbers doing. My Dryos split into like 3 herds. How are the Dryos split into 3 herds? How do they have 3 alphas? Now it's 2, but like, that's crazy. Alright. Mr. Stegosaurus, sir. You are in fact an A. Okay. You are missing a little bit of fiber. Well. Maybe if you would traverse the other jungles of your home, you would find more fiber. And I guess we can check out the red one. Let's grab the other stegos actually before I forget that it is B we want. Have I seen the JWE Kid Slop side of YouTube? You fucking betcha. I've absolutely seen like Spider-Man, T-Rex, and shit like that. Mostly actually through like people asking like what the fuck is this on Reddit and shit. Not so much actually through recommendations. We'll do a twofer on that. Get the welfare person rested up maybe, and then we can also synth up our compy group, I think. Well, the compy is maybe not, because we want alphas. So, the compy has a single toy. It comes with a Dieter Stark figure, and it's got a magnet so that it, like, connects to the magnet on Dieter's chest, so you can have, like, a compy that's pounced on him. It is very much a green and yellow compy. So that is the color palette I have picked. I'm not sure this exact Mangrove Papurana is the film one necessarily, but it's certainly close to it. I feel like depending on the rendition, it should have more black in the pattern, but not relevant here. Like this is fine. So this is what I went with for our red hatchling stego. So more brown than red, unfortunately, but that's as close as you can get with the variant. And I put the little striping on it because it just looks better with the stripes. So I think that's completely reasonable for a unique individual in the park here. 1997 B stegos. It's kind of like a lot. Do I really want all of these? I literally had 6 on my list. I already have way more than 6 in the park, but it was 6 to start with. So, we have 9 right now. 14 stegos? Sure, man. Let's just pull the trigger. Boom. And then for the compies, we got 10. 10 seems fine to me. It could be kind of amusing to have only 10 compies, because it runs so counter to, like, typical, you know, compy populations we have. It's not what we would expect, so maybe we'll just do the 10. I did make a small exhibit for the compies down here next to the command center exhibit, command compound exhibit. Just a little viewing gallery exhibit, which we don't really have any of in the park. Actually, I put this over here specifically so that it was closer to this. This should really be like right in front of the viewer. Like, if conceptually you're going to do this kind of exhibit, like, just go for it. Put it right there. All right. Cool. So, yeah, your standard copy, but we might as well showcase them. So, green with yellow. The, from what I remember, it's more so it should be that, like, the body is kind of primarily yellow with, like, just green along the back, maybe. But, like, it does the job. Well, I've lost him. Well, anyway, they're here in this little tiny chain link fence. Very secure. Definitely can't jump that, right? That's like the shortest fence ever. This doesn't seem great. But if there's only 10, like, surely, you know, Dieter Stark would have won if it was only 10 compies. How many compies does it take to kill a full-grown man? Let's start that meme in the paleo community. Instead of this, like, you know, 100 men versus 1 bear, how many compies do you actually need to kill a dude? I don't think 10 can do it. That's got to be more than 10. There's probably like 25 in Lost World or something. Sound off in the comments with how many compies you think it takes to kill a man. Okay, well, I got everybody on deck. Let's start Allosaurus. And then we can rest this guy who will be very pissed and angry and mad at me, and start digging it up. We have a slight incident. Do not panic. Do not be alarmed. That's a paid actor. That didn't really happen. So yeah, he lost track of his feeder because he's stupid. Because even in a pen that is the minimum size he could actually fit in without going aggro, he still can lose the feeder and become mad at me. Which is, like, really, really cool. And he has an ailment because he attacked the fence. Little shit. You little fucking nerd. Do I want to do... Honestly, nah. We're going to keep the fence like this. Because it's visually more interesting. If I do the really heavy fence, it's kind of cluttered. It's not as cool looking at it from the path here. A ranger team. I could have sworn I told you to go fix this. Probably one of the other ones coming over. Allosaurus is done, I guess. It was a little preoccupied. Only one person died, yeah. Not a big deal. You know, sometimes it's worth having, you know, a few people die so that we can have the right to have dinosaurs still, right? a little light satire for you, huh? Alright, if you don't know what I was referring to, good. Maintain your innocence. Anything else we wanted? Brachys, I guess? Well, Rex, but we can't afford Rex. Brocky we can do, because we have an alpha. Ah, these are still... Wait. Yes. No, these are good. Yes. If it's not one thing, it's another. How has this happened? Probably the one took over alpha from the other because they separated and reformed. Wait, Young is... No, the territory is just small. Young is no longer the... Okay, L. Weird that that actually updated while we were paused from hostile to not. I feel like weird shit is happening when I'm not looking. Like, how is the Rex territory shrunk all the way down to the arena? How did the Ceratosaurus territory actually shrink to the point where, like, he escaped? Because, like, his territory clips through the wall. And these are fairly centralized. Like, man, weird. Weird behavior. You know, we're seeing the cracks in the simulation. That's what it is. And by simulation, I mean reality, not the game. Alright, first batch of Allosaurus. 1, 2, 3. Probably worth it. 50 seconds. Let's do this. And then not do a dig right now. And then I think I might just knock out the spinal research to have it done. Or should I do a Rex? Because the Rexes are being pieces of shit. And I could really use even just a humble Rex. Yeah, we'll do Rexes. Okay. We're doing staff upgrades so that we can do a full genetically modified Rex to try to get an alpha. Otherwise, that's like 25-25, and that's not going to pop. That's just not going to happen. So, if this is who we send out... Sure. We have some genetics left. Okay. So, Gallimimus is treated. That's going back in. We got this, apparently, to deal with, because these idiots are trying to break out. True. And they didn't have fucking comfort info or whatever, so we didn't even get the injury notifications until just now. There is a second one, and I cannot click on him. Why is that? It's because he's in the cliff. He's a land shark. It's fine. There he is. Okay, and repairs. Are these repaired? Yeah, that was a very annoying storm, but they're all annoying now because this aviary does not function as well in the game as you'd like. It looks very nice, but that is all. Alright. Let's see here. So, other Lost World variants. We do have our third Carnotaurus. We could do that. So the third Carnotaurus is essentially just the Fallen Kingdom Carnotaurus, ultimately. So Death Valley Rana. So this is nothing remarkable. But we'll get him in the park, because he deserves to be here. Just one, though. Just one more Carnotaurus. Alright, 17 on 3. You are 7. You cap out at 8. That's pretty poor, not gonna lie. We're looking for 9, so we do probably either of you, honestly. We do you. Right? Then we should be good to go. Bull T-Rex, 854. I want this to be my alpha. So we're probably going to roll those until we get one that works, I think. And then we'll breed the Thrasher for the fourth and final Rex. Then we have a dipshit broken wing Pteranodon coming in we gotta deal with because he attacked. Oh my god, my boats. Why are the boats glitching so much now? Just reset them. I don't know what it is with those boat tours. They work until they don't. Which is just weird. It's weird the way they break. Did you feel like they'd break more consistently? Maybe it's just me. Alright, can you fly the flyer over here quicker, please? Oh my god. If it's not one thing, it's another. I don't care about your fucking algae poisoning. Cool. It took so long, I literally rested the scientist completely in the time it took them to fly the guy over. Okay, I mean, there's like a big chunk of exhibit space here that's just like no plants, so we just do that. Then we do this. Ta-da! You're happy now. Stop being a nerd. Okay. And do we have synth data? No, we are at 1 minute. Okay, 2025 social humble. So as long as we don't get intolerant plus aggressive on the thrasher, we're good. So there we go. 7, 4, and 2. We'll push this one over the limit. And then while that's happening, you can go on a break. And then I need to get my Pteranodons. Oh, we did get our third Carno. Which is... Let me look up the name real quick. I have the page open. It is... Bone Breaker, one word. That's the toy's nickname. It's the Bone Breaker Carnotaurus. There he is. Okay. Over here. So, 6 Pteranodon, the canonical escape from Jurassic Park population. The last 2 are the Lost World skin. 1 for the adult figure and 1 for the hatchling figure. These can be reset, though, because we already have an alpha. Right? Double check, maybe. Ah, we don't need an alpha, because it's a giant aviary, and it's only 6 Pteranodon. 8. Boom. I totally forgot we did these because we got distracted by other things. So this is our brown Brachiosaurus based off the Lost World hatchling that comes with... I think it comes with like Ajay's figure or something, maybe. And because it's such a weird, misproportioned, chunky, strange Brachiosaur figure, it made sense to me to make it be a JP3 variant to be chunkier. So that it stands out from the, you know, JP style ones. So just 2 of these in here to finish the herd of 8. So 5 JP, 1 green, and 2 of those. How many do we need for 5 stars? Good question. We are at 16,000 out of 20,000. If we don't hit the full appeal, we're not going to worry about it because this is a made-up modded number anyway, and I can just change the number. Also, the species target is 32, so we are taking a decent chunk there. Plus, we probably need like another hotel or something now. Oh yeah, my amenities are going to be weird too, because I don't think I ever fixed the amenities over here. But it's probably not that bad. Slight demand for lay toilets. But... yeah, other demands are not too bad. A little bit more here, maybe. Maybe we should populate Main Street. Also, just conceptually makes sense. Yeah, let's do that. Off video real quick. Let's do... It looks like we got 1 allo dig site, which is presumably the other, you know, chunk of it. Cheaper. Yep. Okay. And then with our genetic specialist, we did the Pteranodons. We didn't see what we got, though. We got 3 eggs, weak, needy, social needy, and regular. Let's take these 2. Pteranodon 97, Pteranodon 97. We have to wait for the Rex to hatch before we can hatch those, though. Other animals. Other animals. What am I missing? Nothing? Yeah, not really anything. I think we're good. We're just gonna wait. A nice chunk of aloe. Is that actually like almost everything? Or is that everything? Okay, so aloe and 2 digs if you have no competing animals is kind of cool. I like that. We got the Rex. So we want to do... I need to rest this person, so yeah, let's do this. And then we'll do the Spino research. And then somebody else can do the rest of the fossils while the Spino research happens. Bull T-Rex. San Diego, more like San Diego. True. Accurate description. Completely accurate. There should really be more in here, right? But I don't know what would make sense. This is a little, like, barren. But you know what? That kind of feels like San Diego might have felt, because San Diego does seem like a half-baked idea. JP San Diego, that is. Alright, here he is. So, of course, this is the Buck T-Rex, except it's the toy version. So, very toy-like exaggerated skin patterning, right? And we did a different version of this in our Hammond Collection Park, I think, right? Or did we not do that because it wasn't out yet? Maybe. Well, point is, we have the equivalent Hammond Collection figure that kind of echoes it. I also have this actual figure, but he's like upstairs in a closet. So this guy was always a kind of the crown jewel of the Lost World toy line. He would eat a little man in a capsule, a safety capsule, and then you would be able to open his belly up and take it out. And somehow that man would survive. We need 3 prey feeders. Yeah, that's a lot of prey feeders. And then, yeah, he'll be the buck. Or the alpha. But he is called the bull. So, interesting little thing there. He's called the bull T-Rex in the toy line, but people tend to call the JP3 T-Rex the bull. Just in the fandom. So this has always bugged me. Because to me, this is the bull. The bull is the toy version of the buck. And the JP3 Rex is something else, because he came after this. But I'm like the only one that feels that way, I guess. It's fine. Not everybody is as tragically old as I am. Oh my god, they all came over together. Oh my, they're all eating at the same time. Well, look at that, the whole crew, except for the one that we haven't made yet. But like, 3/4 of the crew, you know? We've got the novel Rexy, the novel juvenile, then Lost World male, and eventually we'll have the female. I was wondering if they were going to do the feeder animation. Because it's a model edit. It might not work. Common cold looking for water. Well, why don't you idiots duel each other and fix that shit? Why don't you do that? Okay, Spino. Does not matter. Do this one. So, wait. Yes. So that's the Spino. The last proper regular dinosaur we need. And then, yeah, we have our 2 Lost World color Pteranodon eggs for the 6 Pteranodons. We'll finally hatch these as well. You ever see the monorail glitch out in JWE2? The fuck? Why are they all going ass to mouth? Like, there's like 6 monorails. What is going on here? So not another monorail anywhere in the park that's like running? This doesn't matter. This doesn't actually like impact transport rating. It probably impacts visibility technically, but I'm not counting on the monorails for visibility. I don't think I've ever seen these glitch out. This is crazy. How did this happen? Step train, I'm stuck. Yeah, indeed. Okay. Well, there it is. Alright, so now we can get our Thrasher T-Rex. I should say this is a different day than the rest of this episode. We had to pause the stream for a day, well, 2 days, since we had some potential audio issues cropping up. Probably just bandwidth stuff going on at the moment. But we're back, finishing it up. So if I forget anything that in the video I had like just said like a moment ago, that's why. Because it was not actually a moment ago for me. Let's get Spino going now too, if we can. We cannot. 11 and 13. If I want to do it on these guys, I would need to invest points, which I can do. Are these both the same? 13, 13. Okay. You're capped. Alright, we're going to get the Rex, and then we're going to get the Allo after that. We also need to do the research for the Tylosaurus. And that's kind of it, right? What else am I forgetting anything else? We did the Pachycephalosaurs completely. We got the Chasmo, we got the Uoplo. Stegos, Patos are all good. We got all our Brachys, we got all our Parasaurs. We got our wave of Compies, Utahraptors are good, Velociraptors. Yeah, Spino. Oh, we got Pteranodons ready. Forgot about these. So 2 Lost World Skin Pteranodons. Interestingly enough, pause for a second. The toy is based off the concept art version of the Pteranodon, which is more of a deep blue versus the more greenish blue, or more green than blue in general on the face seen in the film. So the toy actually doesn't quite look like this. And if you, this same mod here that this is from, this film variant mod, has a Geosternbergia skin that is very similar to this, which is based also on the concept art, which has the darker blue. And the toy is like basically the cross between that Geosternbergia concept and this Pteranodon, because they basically iterated this a few times in concept art, in production, until the film release with it just as a CG model at the very end. So that's why, if you're familiar with the toy line, that's why the toy version is a little different. This glitch is definitely the only problem with the Canyon Aviary. The rest of this Aviary is awesome, but his vocalizations are very unique. I'll give him that. Okay, whoa, leg spike. Might want to reload the game at some point, because I was taking care of some stream stuff when the game loaded in, and I might have, legged it out. Sometimes that seems to happen. Okay, but we don't need to worry about that right now. You get over here. If it keeps being an issue, then we can worry about it. So, we've had an incident, which is somehow a Brachiosaurus has attacked a Jeep, which I did not know was physically possible. This is definitely not common, because literally we've had Brachys with the Jeeps the entire park build. So, maybe it just walked into it, and actually that can trigger, a so-called attack and injuries and everything. Maybe, because this is very weird. We need to reboot this. Give me a car. Interestingly, this all happened at like the same time the Ceratops got mad and a Baryonyx got hookworms. Like, everything is happening at once, which is very JWE2. We'll go manually refill that feeder because we can't actually get to it normally. I forgot it was Fat Fuck Donuts. That got me just driving past. I was not prepared for that. Okay, here's the plaza, which means we go this way. We'll move the Ceratops now because he's going to be sedated, so make the way for the Allo. How did the Jeep almost tip over? That's ridiculous. Alright, there you go. You got it. You're done. Alright, so we're started building the hybrid area. So what we're looking at here is the so-called concept art Indominus paddock and the Indominus paddock as it appears in the film. Presumably, the idea being that this one was incomplete, right? Still being developed, being built, like within the movie itself. And this is what it would have looked like when it was finished. I don't know if that's true. I'm only assuming, but, probably. Looks like the gates we got to manually place. But we did use these before, and they do work. So you just got to eyeball it. But it should be fine. Looks good to me. Shit. If you ask me, that looks like like it was always there. Like it was properly part of the structure originally. And then, yeah, same thing here. This one's a little harder to tell because it does that. That's probably good. No, it's not. I can tell that it's weird left to right, but do I care is the next question. Because is it actually that weird? Oh, nice! They got the scratches. I don't think we ever noticed this before. I guess because we never had a reason to be in here and see this, but they actually... I didn't know this would open for the camera. Also, that's really cool that it actually does that. Okay, I mean, you could tell that there's an extra strip of concrete there, so this is technically to the side, but I think it's fine. You know, it's not exactly a Jurassic World build, right? It's Kenner's Jurassic World. So in Kenner's Jurassic World, they put the gate on slightly crooked, and it's canon. So we gotta connect this stuff up here. All right, Thrasher is going to be airlifted over. It's a strong Thrasher, no other genes present on it. And then for the Allosaurus, we're going to have one of these. We are doing Frontier variant, Sonoran Desert, Rana. Not exactly exciting, but the Allosaurus toy is just orange with black stripes, so there's no real opportunity for us to do anything crazy there. 13, if I do full humble, which is exactly these two. I think we'll just do that. Let's do this. 13, 14. We'll do -1 chance of large appetite. Okay. And this is going in the T-Rex Kingdom area as the replacement for the Cerado, which I sedated and never moved. I did forget about that. Hold on. Shit. Rest you. And then we just have the Generalist, which can do fossils, of which we have just the Spino, so it's not worth doing. Okay, the Cerado is actually still sedated. Perfect. You, sir, this is your new home. Go have fun. It's probably a little big, but whatever. Alright, and then, yeah, there's the Thrasher coming over. Alright, here's our Allo, Humble Allo. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Leaving us with enough genetics to do something else. But is there any something else's to do? Currently, no, right? I debated putting a second Cerado in the park. I'm probably not going to bother. There is a Cerado figure, but it never came out. It was never announced, and it was retooled into a different figure, so it's in a really awkward, weird situation. It's also unpainted, so I don't see the reason to do it. Plus, I like having sometimes, you know, solitary animals. So like one Cerado, just in terms of the park roster, feels good. Because we got, like, multiples of almost everything else. We could do this Ultimasaurus. I think I want to go in order. I think I want to get the Spino out before we do the hybrids. Yeah. Alright, post-storm fallout. The Raptors escaped because I rebuilt the monorail. And we discovered that we actually had 2 sections of monorail over here that weren't properly connected, which is why the monorail glitched out before. So that's been fixed. But that did cut off like 3 sectors from the grid, which resulted in resetting a bunch of sedation tasks that I had going, which is why the Raptors were able to kind of run amok. You know, we're rounding them up. It's not actually like a threat. It's not like an aviary breach where it becomes a whole ordeal to like sedate and move them back in, so we're not concerned. So we got a Thrasher T-Rex, which is this one. So this is the Kenner version of the female Rex. So it's still a very green T-Rex, but so it doesn't really resemble the film one. If anything, this honestly resembles like the really early Jurassic Park 1 concept art where the Rex was green. I've never owned this toy either, which is the thing. But yeah, there it is. So we got all four: young T-Rex, red T-Rex, bull, and thrasher. Toy line's complete. Alright, and then, yeah, once these raptors are done, we can get that stuff moved back. The aloes will be done soon. And we should have the last Spino dig going on right now. I haven't bothered including the expeditions anymore. We're just trying to get this stuff wrapped up quick. So get those guys in there. Then wake up the other idiot. Actually, it's probably better just to, like, airlift them at this point. Because they're already going to be over here airlifting. Alright, I'm going to miss this guy when he's gone. But, yeah, this is our aloe, so. I don't believe he has a nickname. So he will not get one. I should verify that, but I'm fairly certain. Because he comes from a place that they didn't bother to give him his own special name. Alright. There's the Anki treated, so we have the whole crew back, essentially. And the expedition is done, so this should be the last. Yeah, okay. So we have 3 batches of Spino. Can I do anything with this? No, it's 2 batches, exactly. Sick. Okay, cool. So if I do 1 on the 5 and 1 on the 8, sure. Okay. Let's get that. And then we got, so 1 Spino, 1 Tylo, 1 Ultimasaurus, and maybe like 2 Paradeinonychus or something. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, other than the copy that just teleported through a fence, we're ready to go here with the Tylosaurus expedition, having just done the research for that. So we'll do the squad. And then, if they ever dart that copy, we can open the park back up. But in the meantime, let's get ourselves a Spino. So, for the Spino, we talked about this action with the Rebirth Park build. But the Rebirth Spino mod just happens to come with a toy line skin, which is really awesome looking. Now, the funny thing too about this, the actual Spino in the toy line is like the worst Spino design in the franchise. It is incredibly inaccurate even for the time the toy came out. So it's pretty funny. I'm going to push Aoki over the limit, I think. It's pretty funny to see the color palette from the incredibly inaccurate toy turned into the relatively paleo-accurate Rebirth Spino, relative for the franchise. Actually, interestingly enough, the Spino toy actually has like pretty stubby short legs, which does kind of give it that like low to the ground, you know, slung out build of a paleo-accurate Spino, but the head is also just a complete nightmare, so. He's literally sitting there. He's mocking you. Don't let him get away with this. So, this'll work. This is sufficient. I guess I wait on this for the expedition to be done, because I can't. I mean, I could super disgruntle. Does that matter if I have events turned off? I have no idea. Let's just rest him. It's fine. This copy is still running here. This is I have now dispatched all 5 helicopters to sedate this man, but he will not be caught. Yeah, he's just. It can't happen. It just can't be done. Look at him go. Look at all the fucking darts. Come on, man. He's taking a nap. They're shooting like a perfect ring around him too. Like what is happening? He's starving to death. Get them, boys! Come on! Please! Holy shit! Holy shit! That was ridiculous. I do love this skin. This is... Can you get out of the bush, please? Your audience is here. There you go, buddy. Yeah. Gonna say it. Better color palette than the film design. Boom. That's not nostalgia for the toy line speaking. This is just cool, in my opinion. So yeah, he fits perfectly on his existing island. No work needed. There he is.
You may well witness dinosaurs.
All right. All right. So we're putting in one Tylosaurus, Amazon rainforest Papyrana, maxed out the Humble. Honestly, 12 genetics. Do we want to put anything more into this? I could do 13. What would I do? I would do small appetite, I guess. Sure. Because money doesn't matter. It's literally just an optimization of if I don't want to spend extra scientists or not. So the reason Tylosaurus is included is in the concept art for the Escape from Jurassic Park show. There is one concept art of the cast from the original film interacting with a mosasaur. And this is largely taken to be Tylosaurus. I don't know explicitly if it's been confirmed to be Tylosaurus, or if this is an assumption everybody has made. But it's called a mosasaur, I'm pretty sure, on the art, and not a mosasaurus. And using mosasaurus, well, it would look better than the Tylo in game, but we always end up using Mosa for, franchise park builds. So it's an opportunity to use the ugly Tylosaurus for once. So that's kind of why I finally settled on it. Like, it works it's good enough. I mean, it's not. it's a really stiff and awkward and ugly aquatic, but it's good enough for this. Especially as like a late stage animal that just kind of gets thrown into a lagoon and never looked at again. All right, Ultimasaurus egg is 17 genetics with maxed out Humble. We put some points into our people to get this, and we're going to run this at the same time that I sneeze. We're going to run this at the same time that we hatch the Tylo egg. Well, there he is. He's got some stripes. He's got a pointy snout, and he's got the flexibility of an elderly gentleman. And we're only going to put the one in. He should have plenty of space, I would assume, because this is like a pretty big lagoon. But he flushes out the main street sector pretty good. All the lagoons are now populated. 7 lagoon animals. 313. Perfect. So the Ultimasaurus egg is ready. I think I'm going to do the Paradeinonychus research first. So this requires 1 billion genetics points. So we should have this just by capping out everybody who is above a 2 on genetics. 3 to 4, 3 to 6 actually. Let's do him. This wasn't the original plan, but he should only need like a 4, I think. You cap out. Okay. 14, 20, 24. Yeah. Do not see Tylosaurus doing anything in my parks, typically. Not an animal I usually include. Okay, so Paradeinonychus. He's unlocked. We don't have to do anything to get his genome maxed out, which is nice, because Deinonychus was accidentally left out of the roster. His gene spread's pretty poor. And he's social. He's one egg synth, but min pop 2. So, do I want 3 of these guys in the park? Like, I guess? But I gotta do them one at a time? Like, yuck. So, I guess at least he's got base 50 social. I guess we do like 75, 75, and then maybe kill this, and, unfit, I guess? 16 genetics. So let's take a look at the Ultimasaurus. This is 15 welfare. You're disgruntled. I have specifically 13 on 3. Could we even hatch that? Oh yeah, no, we got 3 points. 10, 15, okay. So if we do, say this, because we're done digging stuff up, then we can do it now without using the disgruntled person. And then we can put the disgruntled person on break, and then we can probably get the Paradeinonychus eggs going. That would be me taking away the 6 genetics, though. Let's do some... Oh, shit. Can we do anything else with this? Fuck. No, she's the only one with points left. Alright, I mean, we'll just use her. It's fine. Okay, we can process our first Paradeinonychus egg, 12 welfare. I hired 1 new scientist, this random positive influence when I just grabbed from the, the free marketplace. The place you hire employees, the job fair, whatever you want to call it. We do also currently have a bunch of dinosaur injuries to treat in the park. So maybe I want to grab another scientist for that. 4 would do it. I suppose it makes sense at this point because, like, that's where most of the delay is going to come from. Let's just grab this, like, 4 welfare genetics specialist, I suppose. Just cram the park full of scientists. Okay, who else is hurt? There is a Dilo. Those guys are currently being waken up. You are here. Alright, so we're going to get these hybrids out, and then once the hybrids are in their pens and the pens are optimized for them and we make sure they're comfortable, we can finish up the design of that sector of the park, the hybrid sector, because right now it's pretty bare bones, although it is also damaged. I think his new home's going to work for him. He just needs a little bit of tree, just like everybody, you know, you just need a little tree in your life. Do we want something different tree-wise? Maybe we do some temperate trees scattered in here. Okay, well, there's no... There we go. There's some tree. A little bit of tree there. A little bit of tree over here. Okay, well, now I put too much tree. I over-treed. Oh, my God. And it reset. Okay. Ah, shit. Okay. Good enough. Don't touch it. We don't need the other stuff to come back in. Yeah, it turns out we got 1 more new species for JWE3, and it's Argentinosaurus. All the new animals are Ceratopsians and sauropods. That would be comical.
Delivery complete.
A very nicely done model for this guy. How did you fail a hunt? Where'd the goat even go? Oh, there it is. Oh, it just teleported. No wonder it failed. It was a teleporting goat. Alright, well. So, that's the lit up one. Like, the complete, Indominus paddock we're using there. And then this is the incomplete one as it appears in the movie. Which is we're going to put the Paradeinonychus. So they are seen only from this little, the viewing thing that Claire and Star-Lord are standing in. Boats are glitched. Let's fix the boats. Real quick. And yeah, I should be running that like that while I wait for this guy to get flown over. We need 2 minimum. I've done random skins on the second one just for fun. Just to see what a random one looks like. You know, it's a singular toy. So I would have only put a single one in the park if I was allowed to. But since they're social and I want my animals to be happy, I need more than one. Which just kind of gives me free reign to do whatever. So there it is. Very vibrant. The crest with this like ribbed underpart. This gives me big like xenomorph alien vibes. Because it kind of looks like a ribbed pipe. Like you would see on an alien. Just, like even from behind. So that's always stood out to me looking at this this design. Comfort 70%. You're missing prey. You're somehow missing water, which is interesting. Let's put a goat feeder in there. Expand the water. And then I might want to do decorative trees to optimize this enclosure, because I may try to fit 3 in. Okay, wait. I swear I did random. I swear I did random. Oops. I probably didn't save it, right? Oh, I did random favorite and I had the base favorited already. I didn't catch that. Okay, well, you know what? We can still do one more if there's room. And this time actually it'll be random. So let's just abort this one. There we go. All right. None of that. Well, looks like we're at 5 stars now with the Paradeinonychus. We got the last one flying over, and we got a hotel, which is probably still building. And that gets us there. So we'll want to fully configure this exhibit. And maybe make sure we have all the hotels we do need once the last one lands. But the park build should be completed. And I think it's a pretty good one. I think we'll do a tour video for this and use this maybe as an opportunity to cynically market the channel a little bit in the ramp up to JWE2, you know? Probably a good time to do something like that. Got one of these.
Asset has been delivered.
Don't believe you're 99%. Okay, you are in fact 100. That's good. These are not capped out. They're actually like almost perfect. You're dying because of course you are. I guess we'll need to fix you. Are you stuck? Hey, you stuck, little buddy? You're stuck again. This is not Terry, right? No, this is number 5. We'll do one of those. We'll do one of these. We'll reset his AI. Not that big of a deal. And then, yeah, let's check out our last Paradeinonychus. Okay, there he is. That is a pretty cool color palette. Amazon Rainforest Calcarana. He looks like, I don't know what he looks like. Strong burnt cheese vibes. Maybe. Yeah, this is it. This is the end of this park. We do need to make them happier. No, we don't. 100%. This is just area. Like, this is fine. So 3 works. Okay. So yeah. Final check. 90% on amenities. 94% accommodation rating. I still need another hotel somewhere. I'm going to cram it in, I guess. Just because I kind of feel like, you know, everybody should have a hotel. We don't want to not have full hotel capacity. It'd be crazy. Kind of random spot to put the hotels at this point, but I just like my parks feeling like they're completed within the parameters of the game. Okay, well, that's probably it. Let's wrap it up here then. Next week, I haven't fully decided what our next park build is, but it's probably Prehistoric Kingdom. So probably look forward to that next week.